Hello, everybody. Welcome to Chop and Slice. My name is Michael, and this is
Brandon.
we are here to talk about
Sinners, new release.
came out a couple months ago. Didn't get a chance to see it in theaters, but we did just watch it just now, and a very interesting film. We got a lot to say about it, so let's get into it. So, pretty much the plot of the film is it does take place in 1932 with two identical twins. Stack and Smoke. They're both World War I veterans, which is pretty cool. And they are returning to their hometown of Clarksdale, Mississippi, after working years, and I believe they said 7 years in Chicago for Al Capone. They even mentioned Al Capone by name. And they return to buy a sawmill from a man who seemed like a white man. You got to be kind of specific about the races here. Who turns out to be a racist, but they don't know that at that particular time. Although it's inferred that he definitely is, but there's more to it than just him being racist. So we kind of find out that later on. So they buy the sawmill, and they're looking to host a event, kind of like a club. That's not what it's called, but be like a modern day type of club that they're hosting.
They
And
play music and
yeah,
blues and stuff. Blues was very big in this time.
yeah, blues was huge, and they're doing it for the local black community. And then they bring on board their cousin Sammy, who we do see in the beginning walk into a church. We don't know really what's happening. He's like limping, and he has blood on him. And his father's a pastor.
Runs the church.
Yeah, so, and I guess they infer that there's warnings about blues. Music is supernatural and stuff like that. I don't know. It works for this movie, but a lot of craziness going on. A lot of racial undertones. Obviously, it takes place in a very heated era of the 1930s between black and whites.
A lot of diversity.
Yeah, segregation was still a thing. So a lot of stuff like that. I'm not going to speak too much on it because I don't know a lot about it. Didn't grow up in that era, and it is what it is. But black people were definitely oppressed back then. So we find out that Stack, who's one of the twins, Smoke and Stack, they're very similar, but you do kind of see contrasts in character. Smoke is kind of more conservative. He's not, he doesn't seem to trust as many people as Stack does, and Stack just kind of seems more open about himself. We see him meet his ex-girlfriend Mary, who is white, and she's kind of mad at him for abandoning her and her mother just died. So she had to bury her mother, and then so we'll see her later on. She does kind of become a vital character to this movie. So later on, they grab more guys to come play at the club. So I mentioned their cousin Sammy, and then they grab a bouncer who we recognized from a great movie called 8 Mile. And
he was also in Get Rich or Die Trying.
Get Rich or Die Trying. He is Omar Benson Miller, also known in this movie as Cornbread. I like him. He brings a lot of energy to this movie. This movie's kind of low energy, I would say, right? Kind of,
Yeah.
It's shot really well, though. I'll give it that. It looks really, really good, especially for that time. So they also grab another guy, Deloy Lindo, who plays Delta Slim. They just kind of call him Slim in this movie. He's a good actor, too. He brought a lot to it. I enjoyed him a lot in this movie. He's played in Blade, he's played in The Core, Gone in 60 Seconds, so he has a pretty good track record. I did enjoy him in this movie a lot. He kind of brought good comedic value, and he's kind of the drunk, but he gets paid $40 to do the show, so that was kind of cool. We were thinking how much $40 was back then. It'd be a lot of money. So let's get into the actual horror of this movie, because it is technically a horror film. That's why we did it. We see this guy who's running to this house. He's burned and everything. And we know it's a vampire movie going into it. So these two couples this couple, we do see a brief glimpse of a Ku Klux Klan outfit. So that's very interesting. We'll keep a reminder of that. They allow this man to come in, and he ends up biting both
the couple. Yes.
The couple gets bit. So
they did get a warning about him
from an Indian tribe.
So basically, the whole thing is the vampires need to be invited into your home or business or whatever.
As we've seen in Lost Boys. So
and then if you allow them in, then
this movie had, I wouldn't say really a Lost Boys vibe, but maybe in that era, 1920s, it kind of felt Lost Boys.
As far as the club thing goes, like in the end, it kind of reminded me more of what's the name of that movie? Dusk Till Dawn, or Dawn? No, it was Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah. Till Dawn, yeah. With George Clooney, kind of that whole scene with the fights and everything.
Yeah.
Where the vampires all come in and just invade and crash the party.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. There was a lot of action in this movie at the end. It was kind of slow to set up. But overall, I like the era. I like the setting. The way it was shot was beautiful. Especially when they're driving in the cotton field, the road through the cotton fields with the clouds in the background. It looked really good. So, I mean, the horror wasn't scary. It was violent in some scenes. Kind of sad when he watched his brother die and turn into a vampire. That was kind of sad. And Haley Steinfeld, who is the one white woman in this movie who plays Mary, she ends up getting bit by the original three vampires. The original vampire that killed the couple. They become the vampires. She gets bit. She bites Smoke, and then all hell breaks loose. So, a lot of good gore in it, like in some scenes and stuff. Overall, I enjoyed it. It was a bit slow. Could have cut maybe 20-30 minutes out of this movie, made it a 90-minute flick, and it would have been even better. But yeah, there were some scenes that was slow. What do you think, Brandon?
Yeah, this movie was kind of ass to me. Yeah, it was slow as a understatement. The business didn't really pick up till like the very end, and yeah, this movie should have definitely been trimmed down. There's just a lot of scenes that are like very extended that could have been cut a lot shorter. Like, there's this scene where all the vampires are outside dancing, and it just goes on and on and on forever. Just a lot of pointless scenes. It spent too much time, on talking on one thing. It's like the movie is all just pretty much talk. I mean, some of the fights in the end were kind of cool, but I don't know. It's just not a movie for me, Yeah, it's not my flavor.
I wouldn't call it a great horror film. To me, it was a good film. It wasn't great, but it was shot really well, directed well, acted well. But the story could have been a lot better. I get where they're going for. I definitely understand the story, but I feel like they didn't deliver it. The execution was poor on it, and a lot of confusion with Sammy, maybe.
Yeah, that's the other thing. When you're watching a movie like this, like you gotta like really pay attention. It's one of those movies like you gotta like really follow
Yeah,
it.
if you miss a line in it, you could be lost the entire movie. So,
And
overall,
it's also just too long of a movie to like just keep going back and
yeah, it
watching it
wasn't.
over and over again
Yeah,
until you get it.
this movie has zero rewatchability for me. And something we didn't touch on at the end, all the vampires, they all end up dying. Well, except for Smoke and Mary. They ran off, and the leader of the pack, the original vampire, he ends up getting killed by Sammy, and he burns to death, thus burning all the others vampires. There's a lot in it. You need to watch it if you haven't watched it. We don't want to get into all that, but there's a lot of, Smoke loses a lot of people. His love interest, his brother, which is kind of huge. So they have an interesting relationship too. Turns out that the sawmill that they bought from the white owner ends up setting them up and planned on killing them, the group of his Ku Klux Klan buddies. And at the end, they find Smoke finds out about it. The vampires tell him about it, and Smoke ends up laying the smoke on the Ku Klux Klan at the end, which I did particularly enjoy, to be honest. So that was the coolest scene, I thought. But overall, we can get into the ratings here. Like I said, shot really well, directed well, acted well. I love the environment, the setting that it's in. I'm going to give this movie a solid 7.5 out of 10, which is pretty good rating. Like I said, it's not a movie I'm going to rewatch again, probably. Maybe if I want to show somebody it's something different, but it's a great for first time view, I feel like. So, Brandon, I know you have a different opinion.
Yeah, like I said, it's just not a movie for me. I'm not really. I mean, I love horror. I'm not really too big into vampire movies as is. Like for me, if it's gonna be a vampire movie, like it's gonna have to be good. Like Interview with the Vampire, Queen of the Damned. Those are to me the best vampire movies ever. I mean, Lost Boys is good too, but
I thought you didn't like that one.
Lost Boys is okay. The second one was kind of.
Those sucked.
But by the way, there is a Lost Boys 2, by the way.
I know.
Nobody knows about that.
The Tribe.
Right.
And there's a third one.
Oh, there's a third one? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and it's bad. Anyways, getting to your ratings.
Yeah, the one good thing I'm gonna say about this movie is the setting. I do like the setting that it's in. 19 coming out of the 1920s into the 1930s. Yeah, right in time for the Great Depression. So waving $40 around, big deal.
Yep.
So with that in mind, I think a solid 2 is where I'm sitting at.
Jesus.
That's where I'm sitting. Solid 2.
So
I don't recommend the movie. That's just me. I mean, not a good movie for me.
Well, I would like to point out Michael B. Jordan, did a great job as both Smoke and Stack. I really feel like. So with that rating, it will give Sinners a 9.5 out of 20, which is awful. But
that is terrible.
He just did not. He didn't like it. I'm not in love with it, but I did enjoy it for the first time.
I almost gave it a 1 actually, but I've seen other movies worse. So
Michael B. Jordan did a really good job, I have to point out. I really enjoyed him in this. It captured the 1930s, in my opinion, very well. So yeah, guys. So that will do it for Sinners, 2025. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It does make me kind of want to watch The Lost Boys. That's the all-time greatest vampire movie. Most people give that a consensus agreement to a resounding yes. Lost Boys is the perfect vampire movie. So, perfect setting, 1980s and everything. So, but this isn't a Lost Boys review. This was Sinners. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. And that will conclude it for Sinners. And just be careful who you invite into your home because you don't know what they're there for. See you guys.
Peace.